4 signs it is time to leave your job. Are you feeling stuck at work? Constantly thinking about work outside of work hours? Yep, we've all been there, haven't we? That feeling of uncertainty with our jobs, whether we should make a change, whether we should take that risk. It is not easy. Looking back, I've never regretted leaving a job. I've only regretted staying longer than I should have. I've both quit a job before having a job lined up, and I've also quit a job with having a job lined up. And I'm going to share more about that experience at the end of the video. Let's get into the 4 signs that it's time to leave your job. Number 1, you're watching this video. I'm just joking, but seriously. If you've been YouTubing and watching or Googling videos and websites of reasons why you should be quitting your job, it's probably a sign that you're eventually going to quit the job you're in. Now, instead of spending all your time on these types of videos of why you should quit your job, I encourage you to use that energy and divert it to looking for inspiration for your next move. Do you want to go back to school for something? Is there a career or job that you've been considering in the past, but you've just never taken that risk yet? Start doing some research on opportunities so you can get excited for your next step rather than drowning on the everyday of continuing your job, right? You have something to kind of look forward to. Whenever I'm feeling stuck, I look for inspiration. I think about what makes me excited. What would make me excited to do next? If I could do this after this job, what would it be? Sign number 2, if your mental health has significantly declined since starting your job, it may be time to reconsider leaving. Now, if there's outside factors not related to your job that is affecting your mental health, that's a different, I'm not talking about that. But if you know in your heart and in your soul that it is your job that is making you stressed every day, if you aren't able to sleep, and you know that it's directly related to your work, it's time to move on and find another job. I love this quote, and it stuck with me for a while. Success or a job is never worth your mental health. Reason number 3, there are red signs at your workplace. If you go to work, there is a toxic work environment, whether it's the office politics or the manager that you're working with is not respecting you. Any sort of disrespect at a workplace should first of all be addressed. I would recommend bringing it to HR. If you feel like this problem is not going to be solved, it's probably better to find a healthier workplace. It's pretty difficult to change the toxic work environment in a short period of time. It might be time to leave that environment. It's going to be really, really hard to excel if you're in this type of environment. If this job over time has led you to being less confident, it could be your work environment, it's not you. Don't blame yourself. A toxic work environment can really put a mental and emotional toll on you. Number 4, if you are staying at your job because it's within your comfort zone, you know you should leave, but you're scared of change, it might be time to take that bold risk. Continuing your job at this moment has its own risk. I know the unknown is scary because there's a risk involved with unknown, but also staying at your job is a risk. There could be an opportunity out there that is way better for you, and you'll never know because you didn't take that risk. If you're a type of person that goes to the same restaurant and orders the same food and you know that you like to stay within your comfort zone, I know choosing the other food item at the restaurant could mean that it won't be as good as your usual pick. But if you never try it, there's a possibility that it could be better. And so bringing that analogy back to your career and your job, there could be a better opportunity out there. If you're the type of person, again, to quit easily, I would reflect, really think about the reason you are leaving before you leave. If you're the type of person that tends to stay within their comfort zone, I would encourage you to try. Before you try to take that risk, because it is scary, you can dampen this risk. You can dampen this risk by leaving your job with another job lined up. So looking for job opportunities before you quit your job. That's going to reduce your risk. You could also plan and save up enough money to live for 6 to 12 months so that you can quit, and then within that 6 to 12 month period, look for your next opportunity. I want to leave you with 2 questions that you should ask yourself before you leave your job. Number 1 is, why are you leaving? What is the reason you're leaving your job? Are you looking for more income? Are you looking for a different career? Do you feel stagnant? You need a strong reason to leave your job. So once you leave, you can hold on to that reason. Whenever you have any doubt, you can say, this is the reason why I left this job. Number 2, before you leave your job, if any of the reasons in your previous answer could be addressed at your current job, I encourage you to try it at your job first. For example, if you feel like more income would make you stay, have you asked for a promotion? Have you asked for a raise? If you feel like, okay, if I were to have $10,000 a year at this job, I still would leave. Then you have a reason to leave. Your reason is outside of your salary, and maybe it's for a career transition, for growth opportunities, for other opportunities, for just a change in environment. There's other reasons, but at least you know why, and that you've put in an effort, and you can tell yourself that I've put in 100% to try to stay at this job. But given these circumstances, I've decided to leave because. Now, the reason why I encourage you to really think about that strong reason of leaving is because the transition period of leaving and also moving into potentially your next job is not going to be easy. I want you to set the expectation that it's still going to be hard, because right now you're stressed at work and you just want to leave. But when you leave, it doesn't completely solve the problem. Now you have the next problem. Now you have to look for your next job. You have to update your resume. You got to go for job interviews. You got to apply for jobs. And there's a lot of unknown in that as well. So I would set the expectation that you're going to have that transition period, and you might feel worse or you won't feel better until later. The transition period is hard because there's also social aspects to it. People will ask you, what are you doing right now? And it's difficult to be like, oh, I'm not, it shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't. But there's a social difficulty of answering these types of questions, which is why I try not to ask people too much career related questions or what job they're working at right now, because they might not be working. So instead of asking someone, this is just a side note, but instead of asking someone, where do you work right now? I prefer to ask, what's been keeping you busy lately? Asking that question can give people the opportunity to tell you, I've recently lost my job. I've been busy playing sports. It gives them an open-ended question for them to answer, rather than having to tell you that they've lost their job if they don't want to share that. Leaving a job is not easy. Change is not easy. Taking risks is not easy, but it might be worth it. I'm going to share a little bit about my experience. My first job that I quit, it was taking over my life. I couldn't sleep. My mental health got to the point where I was having physical symptoms. So I couldn't sleep at night. I felt nauseous. It was not a good time. Let me tell you, I quit my job. I gave my 2-week notice. After quitting, you would think everything would be better. It's not. I didn't feel better. There was imposter syndrome. I lost my confidence in I think it was 6-7 months where it took me that long to get my next job. I think it was like 7-8 months until my next job. That's not true. So until my next full-time job. I was doing random jobs here and there. I worked at a call center for a month and then I quit, which didn't help with my confidence, because I was like, I can't even work at this supposedly very easy job. I couldn't even survive 1 month. Am I just doomed to not ever be capable of working? And then I did some storage stocking at a retail store for about a month. At that point, I lost all confidence. I have a bachelor's degree from a well-known university, and I couldn't even use this degree. At this point, I was going to work as a dishwasher. And because the hours were great, I was like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I can't remember. It was like really early in the morning. I was like, you know what? Maybe career isn't for me. And I can just work and use that money to live and enjoy my life outside of work, which is valid too. That is an option. However, I was so purpose-driven. I wanted to do something impactful with my job, which led me to a job that I stayed in for about 4 years and was very meaningful. I've learned so much from that job, and it was a very rewarding job. The second job that I left, I got a job before I left this job. And this is from experience, because I know that I need something to look forward to right away, something to keep me occupied, because when I have too much space, those are when the anxious feelings come in. Not only for those reasons, not only for mental health, like for me, finding another job was helpful in my case, but yeah, finances is also a thing. I needed to have income for my next job. I couldn't just quit. I needed the income. So that was my reason for looking for a job before quitting. Although it's not the worst scenario to quit a job without looking for a new one if you have a valid reason. I think breaks in resumes are more common now, as long as you know the reason you left. And remember that your next job may require a reference. So ask yourself, do you have someone that you can use as a reference for your next job? Those are some of the things I wish I knew. There could be other opportunities you aren't aware of. I encourage you to talk to people, reflect on what daily task do you want to be doing at your job. I think that's really important because my first job that I left was a lab job, which means I was mostly in the kitchen. I didn't really interact with too many people, and I realized that wasn't for me. I needed to have that interaction. And so my next job I looked for, I made sure that I had that interaction. Like, my daily task has to revolve some sort of connection with someone else. That's part of it. It's going to be hard to stay at a job if you don't enjoy the daily tasks. There has to be something about that job that you enjoy that can keep you going. There's so many things I can talk about when it comes to career. There's just not enough time. So if you would like more career-related videos, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I would love to make more. Anyways, if you are having those thoughts of leaving your job soon, I hope this video helps. I wish you all the best, and I will see you next time. Bye.